Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Galoth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. Excited. Another episode of the podcast where we pitch new TV shows every single week. New ideas, characters, storylines, all that fun stuff.
Sometimes
and I've got
we use
a
old
new
characters
pitch for you.
And old storylines. We add
Sometimes
to them,
old characters.
you know?
Yeah, but not this week. All new this week.
Oh.
All completely new.
Excited.
Because you gave me a new title, which was...
Funny Ain't Easy.
Funny Ain't Easy. This one was interesting. I don't want to get into any reveals, so I think I should just jump right into it. So, Funny Ain't Easy. We're gonna follow a man named Harold or Harry Bowers, who's a very funny software engineer, very average looking. Likes his life, but he feels like he deserves more. He's in his late 20s. He lives in New York, by the way, Brooklyn, which we were oddly talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But it's where he lives. His girlfriend, her name's Jenna. Sarah is his girlfriend. She's an attorney, very serious and supportive and caring, but to a limit, and supportive to a limit. She's about 30. Jenna is another character. She's a very fun, free-loving partier, very philosophical. She's in her mid-20s. His software engineers or work friends, their names are Dev, Will, and Jose. I'm just going to name all the characters now, and then it'll make sense once we get going. And then he has some other friends who are in the comedy scene, who are like comedians. So this show is kind of going to follow Harold's rise as a stand-up comedian.
Oh, okay.
So his comedy friends, we have Barty, who's an older comic who plays at a bunch of different clubs, kind of like the life of the party. Harry kind of wants to be him. Then we have Jody, who's very, very young, very exciting, very attractive, hardworking comedian with a lot of family connections. So she like her dad works for SNL or something like that.
Her dad is Bill Murray.
And then lastly we have her dad. Yes, her dad's Bill Murray. Then we have Samir. Samir is an accountant who's very funny and also he's kind of like the mirror of Harold. So Samir, has another job.
Yeah.
He's also funny. Also has a very committed relationship and is doing stand-up comedy on the side. So, episode one is the title episode, so it's gonna also be called Funny Ain't Easy. I have titles for most of the episodes.
Nice. I like.
We open American Beauty style with the narration from the main character. He says, "My name is Harold Bowers." I screwed it up immediately, so I feel like I gotta start over. So we're gonna see an overhead view of him leaving his apartment and going to the subway and hopping on the subway. And as that's happening, we hear the narration, which is, "My name is Harold Bowers. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a software engineer who lives in Brooklyn. I've got a beautiful girlfriend, a great job, and a whole lot of friends. I don't know it now, but in 1 year, I'll be gone." Harry then hops off the subway and heads into a large office building where two security guards are arguing. I actually wrote the dialogue for this. So security guard one says, "Oh man, I'm just worried I'm going to end up as an scapegoat." "What did you say?" I don't want to get in trouble. It's scapegoat, not a scapegoat, you moron." Harry then turns back to the janitors and says, "Yeah, Jerry, you shouldn't take grammar for granite." And everybody laughs because, grammar, granite, it's granted. Hilarious, yeah. Charlie. You're supposed to laugh at this point.
I was laughing. I was doing that silent laugh because you can't see me. I was laughing so hard I stopped making noise because it was just so comedy.
I'm very disappointed by your reaction. Anyway, stupid joke. They laugh, and Jerry heads upstairs to the office where he is clearly the man of the office. Everybody loves him. He's getting. Everybody's like, Harry's here. Hell yeah. Woo.
Yay.
They're all chatting. He's joking. Everybody's laughing at everything he says. Having a good time. Gets through work. Goes to lunch. Everybody's laughing at everything he says. And Samir, who's the company accountant, he's like, dude, you are hilarious. You ought to do stand up with me sometime. You want to come this Saturday? And Harry's like, maybe, I don't know. I think me and Sarah have some plans, but I'll see, and maybe I'll come. And and put something together. I don't really have like a set or routine together. And he's like, no, just go up there and be yourself. You'll do great. He's like, okay, maybe I'll try that. So he goes home and sees Sarah, his girlfriend. He brings it up and she's like super supportive. Like, oh my God, that'd be great. Like, you should do that. That'd be so much fun. He's like, okay, I guess. And he goes through with it. He doesn't make a routine. He just like goes up there and starts riffing, and he absolutely kills it. I mean, he's the place is packed with his friends, so they're laughing at everything he says, but everybody else is laughing too.
Well, see, I feel like if I invited you to my stand-up comedy show, you wouldn't laugh at all. Like, out of spite, even if the entire room.
That's a different kind of friendship.
Yeah, though. You would like stare me down and just like mouth like, you suck.
I'd bring tomatoes and say, yeah.
Fair enough. Maybe he's got better friends than I do.
Or worse. Anyway, so they're all laughing, having a good time. And he's like, he kind of enjoys it. He starts doing it weekly, and it's going pretty well. And he starts making comedy friends who are trying to, push him to do it more. And so the comedy friends are, Barty, the older comic, Jody, the very young, very talented comic, and then Samir, who's his accountant friend at his boss, at his office. Now, I am
assuming he's doing, the way I'm seeing it in my head is he's doing a kind of Goodfellas style, like, we've got them all sitting at a table, smoking cigarettes and drinking beers or whatever, and they're all laughing, and our main character's sitting in the middle, and he's just, like, Goodfellas style breaking down what each of the people is like, Samir, he's been doing this for so long, like, that sort of thing, and we could have, like, that would be a fun montage of all our fun
that'd be neat, it's
characters.
Like, Barty, he's the old head. He knows all the clubs. He knows all the managers. He's got it. So everything's working. He's been working as a comedian full time for a long time.
Yeah, you ever
Jody,
need
she's
anything.
the up and comer, hot shot with family connections. Samir, he does this on the side. Not super serious about it, but he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, but He prefers the security of an office job, kind of like me in a way, but I'm better than he is. No, he does. Our main character wouldn't say that. Your main character. I haven't added enough to the show to claim it as mine yet. I haven't Bob Caned this show.
Yeah. Soon it's just gonna say Charles as the creator of the show.
Created by Charles Long.
Struck off.
Executive producer Jacob Gloth.
And this is also where he meets Jenna, who's about a couple years younger than him, very fun, free-loving. She's kind of like, she's not a comedian, she's kind of like, groupie is the wrong word, but like she's somebody who like frequents the comedy club scene, and she's like always around, always hanging out with the comedians. Everybody likes her because she's like, fun, young, and attractive, essentially. And so she's around. He's becoming better friends with these comedy people, and he's hanging out with his work friends a little bit less. And the comedy people are starting to push him to do weekday shows because, they're like, if you really want to hone your craft, you can't just be doing once on a Saturday. You gotta hit up like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and you'll usually get paid more for those, and it's easier to get gigs then. And he's like, okay, I'll give that a shot. And it starts to really stress him out because now he's like working a full-time job, and then he's going and doing stand-up, and his same old routine of like riffing is still working pretty well, but it's kind of, starting to take a toll on him. And so he decides to use his vacation days to take like a 2 months off and give like full-time comedy a shot. And his girlfriend is kind of hesitant about this. And she's like, I don't really know. Like, this thing is fun. Like, we have fun, but like, we ought to, we're like building a life together. And all of a sudden you're just going to like start doing stand-up a bunch. Like, you're kind of getting close to a promotion at work. Like, you really should just focus on your job. And he's like, I just really need to do this. Like, this is important to me. And she's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll be supportive of this. And, you can take some time off. And he starts to do full-time comedy. And at the very beginning, it goes pretty well. His same old thing of like just sort of riffing goes well. But after a while, it kind of falls apart because he's not everybody else has like a full stand-up routine that they've come up with, like jokes that are all strung about together, and he's just kind of riffing up there, and it's not as good as what other people are doing. So like at the beginning of probably around the halfway point of the 2 months, like a month in, it kind of falls apart a little bit, and he's talking to Barty about this and Jody, and they help him a little bit and start like, they're like, you just got to work on it, you just got to like spend your days writing jokes, and then at night you can perform them. And he starts doing that. He starts working really hard in his comedy. And by the end of the 2 months, he's getting to a point where it's like, he's not great, but he's doing okay again. And it's, he's starting to build it more. But the 2 months is over, and he's like, got to go back to work. And he's like, I just can't. Like, I feel like I'm about to, like, get over the wall here. I'm about to get over the hump. Like, I'm going somewhere. And his girlfriend is not like this at all. She's like, you said you'd do 2 months, and then you'd go back to work. And, like, now, like, our life is falling apart. Like, you missed, like, Thanksgiving with my family because you were doing a comedy show. Like, I don't really know what's going on. And their relationship starts to fall apart until eventually they break up. But also partially because he's getting closer to Jenna, that, the free young, fun person that, like, hangs around all the comedy people.
Yeah.
And they start, like, having a bit of a fling as the relationship falls apart. It's not, like, obviously cheating, because it's, like, relationships essentially over.
Yeah.
It's like they've already moved out from each other. It's like... But it's
I'm assuming
it kind of comes off as a little, like, shady.
We're doing, like, I would imagine we do, like, a montage of he's, like, killing it. He's on the stage and he's killing it. People are loving it, right? Like, people are clapping, giving standing O's, and then cuts to him getting in an argument at home, and his girlfriend yells at him, and he just, like, grabs his coat and he leaves, and then he's on stage again doing it, and he's, like, killing it, and then he's hanging out with Jenna, and then cut to he's getting yelled at by his girlfriend, and then he and Jenna are having drinks together by themselves, girlfriend yelling, he and Jenna are back at her place, right? Like, that's sort of a thing where the relationship is going downhill, and it's, like, going downhill fast because he's, like, he's doing what he wants to do, but that's not really how they built their relationship. I got the impression they built their relationship on both being young professionals who are passionate about their careers, and he is now, like, going towards being more of an artistic guy who's maybe not as concerned about money, and that's messing with his girlfriend. He's changing the deal, and so they break up, and he moves out. He moves into a studio apartment, which is very small. And now I want, every time we return to him in his studio apartment, the walls are going to be close together every single time. It's going to be smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, his life's closing in on him, essentially. And when he first... I like that a lot. That's really good.
Moves into the studio, and he's in Manhattan now, like, no longer in Brooklyn. He's doing comedy clubs all the time. It doesn't... At first, it's really tough, but then it starts to hit, like, a little bit of a groove. Like, he's enjoying life with Jenna now, and he's talking to his comedy friends all the time, and he's doing comedy shows all the time.
Maybe...
And that seems great at first, but then it starts to become, like, a struggle. Like, he's got to come up with new routines all the time. His relationship with Jenna, he starts to realize is kind of just like a, we're going to get drinks and have fun thing. It's not, like, anywhere ever going to be serious. And he wants it to be somewhat serious, and she's not up for that in the slightest. And so she drifts away from him.
And maybe she starts, like, hanging out more with the new sexier comedian who's fresh on the scene.
Or, like, she's no longer interested in comedy anymore. She's going to, like, clubs now and, like, raves and stuff. Yeah. She's interested in musicians.
Meanwhile, he's still, like, opening
like,
for Birdie, right? He's still, like, just doing his thing and getting started, And she's a bit more.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing, and he's not really getting any better. Like, he's seeing the other comedians at, like, he sees Jody. Jody ends up getting a job on, like, SNL or some other, we could do a made up show.
Yeah.
But she hits her big break essentially, and he doesn't. And he, like, sees Barty, who has been doing this forever, and his life seems great seemed great to Harry at first, but then he kind of just sees that, like, Barty is just, like, he just, like, works at comedy clubs and then goes home. He doesn't really have any family. He doesn't really do much. His life seems great because just, like, one long party, but, like, that's kind of it.
Maybe he goes back to his apartment at one, like, they do maybe Harry opens for Barty at one time, and then they both kill it. And then they're getting drinks afterwards, and Barty's like, come back to mine, it's fucking Manhattan so far away, like, let you just sleep on my couch or whatever. And then he goes up to Barty's apartment. He's kind of expecting this to have, like, tons of photos of him hanging out with celebrities and famous people, and, like, all these, like, memories and trophies of a decades-long comedy career. And they get up to his apartment. It's sort of just like a bachelor pad that like a 27-year-old person should have, not somebody who's 47.
Yeah.
And maybe he's got, like, one picture of him and his kids, and it's like, they don't really talk to me anymore, right? Like, not, like, I don't want to, like, make Barty seem like he's just the most pathetic guy in the world or anything like that, but sort of he's there's the sort of strain that a job based off of performance puts on your life, you know? And, like, really confronting Harry with that reality, I think is good.
Yeah, and maybe, like, he's gonna stay the night there, but he just, like, can't take it. And he's like, actually, I gotta go. Like, I'm just gonna walk home. And he just, like, we just have this scene of him, like, slowly walking home, like, kind of just sad and upset with his life and how things have turned out, and, like, really just wants his big break to happen because he feels like that's what he needs to succeed in life. And he ends up, the final scene of the episode, and by this point, we don't see any of his office friends anymore. Like, they're just completely out of the picture. It's just him doing comedy shows, and he's like, his apartment is very small now, and it's like he's barely just making ends meet to get through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And after a bomb show that he really needed the money for to pay his rent, he goes into an alley outside, reaches into his jacket, takes out a revolver, and he's like, his hands are shaking as he puts it up to his head.
Oh my god.
And just as he puts the gun to his head, he pulls the trigger, and the gun, right before he pulls the trigger, it sparks. And then he just hears the click of the gun, and he clicks it like 3 times. He's all confused. And a loud noise zooms overhead, and a blue beam appears in front of him, and 2 little green men slowly levitate down, clapping. And they land, pull out a massive stick, as if they're about to knight him, and then they bonk him on the head. End of episode 1. Did you see that coming, Charles?
I didn't see that coming at all, man. No, I did not see that coming.
I originally was going to write this as a serious film about the descent in this man's life, and end it with, like, you know, him shooting himself. And I was like, well, that's kind of lame. I don't really want to do that. And I was like, what if it ended with aliens?
Aliens come down, and they're like, good job, buddy. You were pretty funny.
They're clapping.
Yeah.
And so that's the end of episode 1, Charlie. Episode 2, Harry Bowers wakes up in his underwear on a stage with a massive crowd of aliens all cheering. And behind him, on a massive jumbotron, his life plays out. Everyone's laughing as his life plays on the jumbotron. It's like showing highlight clips. And, like, the 2 biggest laughs are, like, when his girlfriend breaks up with him, when, like, you know, he's walking back from Harry's house, like, all sad in the rain, and then when he almost kills himself, gets, like, this massive cheer and laughter, and he's just on the stage in his underwear, confused, like, as hell.
Is this hell?
And there's
Am I
an
in
announcer.
hell? And he's just screaming to himself, and they're all laughing at him.
The announcer introduces him over the loudspeakers, and it's like, this is Harry Balls, congratulate your winner of the show, and everyone's cheering. He's, like, absolutely mortified about what's happening, but, like, you know, his face is, like, confused and mortified, but part of him kind of, like, likes this. Like, he's getting, like, you know, he's a performer, and all these people are cheering and loving him. Like, they're not really laughing. I mean, they are laughing at him, but they're also, like, laughing in appreciation of him, in a way. And eventually, he gets clothes, and he gets put in an apartment, and he's told that he was actually on a game show where viewers watch lives of people that, like, are ruining their own lives, and they voted to save him. So at the end of the show, like, you can vote to save one of the contestants that's going to kill themselves. And they voted to save him out of all the contestants because his life was the funniest, because he had a fantastic, amazing life that he threw away on his own. And all the people that are telling him this, like the studio executives, are, like, laughing as they're saying this. They're like, your life was, like, absolutely perfect, and you threw it all away, and then you almost killed yourself. And they're, like, all laughing. And he's like, yeah, I guess, okay. They're like, so everyone voted to save you, like, on the live feed, you know, they put up the poll, and you had, like, 98% of the vote. It was incredible. And he's like, oh, okay, all right.
What do I get? Do I get?
Yeah, what does he get? He gets he gets to live is the big thing. He doesn't he doesn't have to die. Yeah. And now he lives on this, like, ring world. And he gets an apartment, and he gets, like, a limited, like, base level of income that will, like, sustain him in life, like, living on this, like, alien civilization.
Huh.
He's like, okay,
that's
like,
pretty good.
That's interesting. And he lives in this, like, kind of like the Hunger Games, like where they have like the victor's village. He lives in like a game show contestant village, like people that have won game shows. And but he, you know, he has free reign. He can go around, and he's like a citizen of the city. Like he can go around and explore. And he's going around looking at everything, kind of amazed. And within the first day, he blows all of his money that he got from the game show, and he realizes that like he does get paid, like he gets a salary, but he gets like the salary, like a basic bottom tier, like just trying to survive, like basic income salary. It's not like enough to like live like a very exciting life. Like maybe he can go out to dinner once a week or something, or you know, he has enough food, money for like groceries and stuff, but he can't really like go out to and enjoy life very much.
Yeah.
So he ends up blowing like all of his money in the first week because he doesn't really understand, or in the first day because he doesn't really understand how money works in this society either.
He buys a train ticket.
How much is, you know,
50 glur blocks for a train ticket. And he's like, oh, okay. And he
can't like travel and explore the galaxy or anything like that. Like he's just stuck on this planet with his money. Yeah. And he tries to get a job, and he just fails at every interview because, I mean, he's from Earth, Charlie, and he lives on like this intergalactic, you know, ring world now and like a future society. He doesn't have any of the necessary skills to do anything. This is a caveman that now has an office job and has to learn, is getting asked like, do you know Microsoft Excel? Like he doesn't know whatever the software or like any of the advanced stuff that he knows to get even the most basic like cashier level job. Yeah. He can't get that because he doesn't have the basic concepts of how anything works in this society. So, you know, he can't make ends. And well, I mean, he has ends meet, but he can't like do anything more than the bare minimum in this society. And there's only one thing he really can do, which is agreeing to do more game shows. So that's kind of the genesis of the next, you know, all the episodes in the show is that he is signing up for different alien game shows and he's a contestant on them, and you know, it's him going through them to make money and stuff. Yeah. So he ends up entering a show called Planet Watch, where celebrity contestants live on a colony and do challenges to get a massive, you know, and the winner gets a massive payout. So it's kind of like Survivor. It's like you do challenges, you live on this like, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and you're like trying to survive. Part of it is like trying to survive and like get food and everything, but then like every week you have like a challenge that you have to do, and like the winner gets like, you know, gets like some extra food or something like that, and then the last person to get voted off gets like a huge payout at the end, right? Yeah. So on this show, this is his first time meeting other game show contestants, other celebrity contestants. This is where he meets Gorgo, who's a massive rock man who is the sole survivor of a show called APOC Survivor, which is a show that followed planets suffering an apocalypse. And he was voted to be saved at the end of the apocalypse. They're like, you know, everyone else they were following, they chose Gorgo to save. He's this big, tough, brutish rock man who's very angry, upset by everything, has a lot of pet peeves. He's like if Larry David was a giant rock man. That's how I want you to picture Gorgo. Okay, so he's like kind of a, what are you doing? You know, like, come on. He's very curmudgeonly and, you know, neurotic. But he's also a gigantic rock man. Everything bothers him. Yeah. Yeah. It's too cold in here. What? Somebody turn on the heating. It's too cold in here. It's like I'm in the Arctic. Yeah. And he's a gigantic rock man. Like lava. It's like, do you even feel temperature? He's like, it's like, you're a rock. Like, I can feel it on my eyes. My eyes are cold. Somebody turn on the heating. Jesus Christ. You know? That's my Larry David impression, if you were wondering. It's not great, but we'll move on. It's not. It's fine. Then we have Lady White. Lady White is a tree nymph who won a show called Godly Fury, which showed people getting oppressed by local gods. So like, you know, like Zeus or something like that, but like, you know, different planets and different made up gods. Yeah. And it's like people that like, you know, in like Greek mythology, like people would get horribly oppressed by gods, like turned into cows and shit. And like, you know, they get cursed and things like that. And she won this show. And she's just like the most overly sweet, regal, kind, very attentive neighbor who like kind of holds the village together. Like everybody likes Lady White. She's fantastic. But she does have this like horrible past of getting like oppressed by gods in this TV show. Then we have Lox. Lox is probably going to be your favorite character because he's a cyborg monkey man. Yeah. I know you're a big monkey. I love cyborgs. I love monkeys. I love men. Not like that. Lox is very funny, extremely violent, instantly gets along with Harry. They're kind of like best friends. He likes to tell a lot of stories that may or may not be true and kind of never stops talking. He's also always offering to set up Harry with his cousin, who's, like also obviously
a giant baboon woman or whatever.
Yeah. And he won a show called Murderbot, where mad scientists did horrible experiments on creatures to make them into weapons. He won because his dad was the scientist that was doing these terrible things to him.
Yeah. Whoever has the most tragic backstory wins.
Generally, yeah. Everyone, or is redeeming in some way.
Yeah.
Or funny to this, weird society of green alien people who the idea of this show is that you have like some weird question, like clearly these alien people are fucked up because they find all this stuff really funny, but like is what they're doing bad because they're not like adding to the pain.
Yeah, they're not
suffering,
killing people or hurting people.
But they're not helping it.
Yeah.
They just found people that are suffering and they're watching it.
Yeah.
So it's bad, but it's not like, I mean, it is horrific, but it's not like they're not doing bad things. They're just watching bad
it's
things.
just funny. I do have a question, because I think that this could be a funny thing. Does anyone from Earth, does anyone from episode 1 reappear?
No, absolutely not.
I think Jenna should come back as, like, she was a contestant on a different crazy alien game show, and she has no idea what,
oh my God, yeah.
what is going on, and Harry is like, fuck you. I'm not gonna help you. You gotta figure it out on your own. And he's just like, everyone is assuming that they'll get along because they went out for a bit and they're also both humans. And Harry's like, no, fuck you. You're an asshole.
Oh, that would be really interesting. It could be like a, like sometimes in game shows they'll have like, they'll bring back somebody from your past. And he'll have this moment where it's like, we're going to bring back your old ex-girlfriend. He's like, oh my God, I'm going to see Sarah again. Like, I got to tell her how much I miss her, how much I love her. Like, I'm sorry and everything. And then it comes up and it's like, it's
Jenna.
It's Jenna in like full rave gear, like just partying. And he's like, oh my God, what? You brought the wrong one. We went out for like weeks.
Yeah,
like I don't really know anything about this girl.
I barely liked her. Oh God, I liked having coked up sex with her. That was the extent of my appreciation for her. And she's there, and I imagine she's in like, you're right, full rave gear. And she's got like all the glow sticks around her, like wrists and on her neck, and she's got sunglasses on there, vaguely askew, and she's hungover, and she's like, Harry? What's going on? Is this like, did you invite me to like Thanksgiving or something? Or is these your relatives? What's happening? Like, she's just totally out of it. Harry's like, fuck, I really don't want to have to spend any more time with her. She got pretty annoying towards the end.
It'd be funny if she she became a big celebrity as well in like this world, doing like other shows. Like, we don't really see her all the time, but she's doing like, she ends up like big in like the alien dating show scene. Like she ends up as like she's a contestant and she wins or something, and then she like becomes like the host of like an alien dating show.
And maybe she's famous because all of the things that make you an attractive date as an alien creature are like things that she doesn't find attractive. Like, what? Can you believe she turned down the guy who has 16 eyeballs? That's so hot. I love it. I love a dude with 16. I would love to be with a guy with 16 eyeballs. My boyfriend only has 14 eyeballs. It's pathetic, really.
And she also just has like the bubbly, popular girl personality that like everybody likes all the time, and that even traverses, galaxies. So like she's just instantly becomes huge right away, having a good time. But last central character is Celeste, or Cell for short. Now Celeste is the only person in the contestant village that didn't win a game show. Her parents won a game show called Natural Disasterathon. And so they got saved, and then she was born and grew up here on this planet.
Okay.
So she's a human, but she's never lived on Earth. She's always lived on this ring world, like exploring the galaxy. And her kind of thing is that she knows everything about this society and this world and all the game shows, and she's become very good at them. And she's like the ultimate fan favorite because she's the only like kid of game show contestants. So she's like she's like the ultimate. Like the fans love her.
Exactly.
Everything she does she loves, and
she has
and
her
she's
own
also
show.
like the
She's got a podcast.
She's the ultimate. She's the person that like wins like the most game shows. She's got like the record. She's won like 14 in a row or something like that.
Something
like
crazy, yeah.
She's won a lot of game shows. So she's a big fan favorite. All right. So the show that he signed up to, if you forgot already, it was called Planet Watch, where they kind of like Survivor-esque. And so Harry gets sent down. He meets all these people and starts, getting used to life with them and like help setting up this colony and trying to survive. And barely gets through the first challenge. And instantly, right after the challenge, he's excited. He feels happy with the new people around him. And on the first vote, he gets voted off, loses right away in Planet Watch because he doesn't. We're gonna see like the highlight replay afterwards. Like, so we've seen the whole episode from his point of view. We're gonna see the highlight replay after he gets voted off. He doesn't know how to do anything. He's been doing everything wrong the entire time. Yeah. There's like Celeste has been having to like retie his ropes, reset up the encampment after him, and like all the other people are like you can hear them shit talking him and like the in their one-on-ones with the cameraman because he like doesn't know how to do anything, doesn't know how to make food, gave everybody food poisoning when he tried to make food for the night. Like he's just horrible at anything because he has no knowledge of how anything works in this world. He's like doing things how he would expect them to work in like human society, but everything doesn't work the same way. It's just like completely different. And so he gets voted off first, and gets back to the village and is pretty bummed about this. And the episode will end with him convincing Celeste to like coach him and like help him get better at these game shows.
Maybe he'll like. Maybe she has like sort of an interest in Earth culture because she is a human being, but she's never been to Earth and she's never seen it. So he's like, I'll teach you about Earth culture if you cheat. So there's like a tit for tat, if you teach me how to survive and thrive in these game shows. And she's like, ugh, fine. But secretly she's like, yeah, you get to learn about Catcher in the Rye or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she has an interest in like, she wants to learn more about like where her parents grew up and everything like that. And, society in Earth now, because she's grew up all of her life in this world. She doesn't know what's been happening on Earth, why she's been here. And, her parents only know what was happening before, the disaster almost killed them. So
the disaster was the Ice Age.
He can, fill her in a little bit and tell her about the world and stuff. So some of the episode ideas I had were, we have a show called Isolated, ICE, ICE, and they live on this ice like winter planet all alone, each individually, and it's like a sort of webcams maybe not the right. Like they have the camera on them.
GoPro
and they have
style,
to film their own scenes, and it's like they're living isolated and have to try to survive by themselves, and whoever survives the longest wins. It's based off of the show Alone, which is an actual reality TV show. But in this, it's like they're living on this like horrible ice planet with like weird ice creatures, and they're just trying to survive in this horrible environment. And whoever can stay alive for the longest before quitting wins.
Maybe we could have a funny scene where everybody's like, you have to kill the ice monsters, right? Like, and all this stuff, because the people are a giant rock man, a nymph goddess woman, a robot monkey, and a woman who's only ever lived in crazy alien world. And Harry's like, what if I start telling him jokes? And so they're all like fighting for their lives, trying to kill these ice monsters who come to attack them every night. And Harry just like does a stand-up comedy routine at the Ice Giant Club or whatever, and he ends up winning.
The Ice Lounge.
Because...
Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah, exactly. The Iceberg Lounge. And he ends up winning because he just like didn't start killing these monsters immediately.
Yeah, they're actually not hostile, they're friendly, and he's the only one that didn't, and so now he like just like lives with a couple of like ice bears and ice creatures, and they're just
they
like
take care of him, and he's like,
they help him get food and things.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, this actually was quite nice. I like the ice planet. Can I just stay here? I got like pals. My comedy is successful here, and that's nice. And they're like, nope, you got to come back.
Yeah, that could be a nice juxtaposition. So like the way he approaches all these game shows is always going to be way different than everybody else approaches it, because he doesn't have the skills that they have. So like that could be the first time he wins a show is through this, trying to work against the grain and like doing something that no one else would think of. He probably won't do as well in the other game shows that I have planned. I have The Enemy Inside, which is on an abandoned spaceship or a space station. One of them has been turned into a horrific monster creature inside of them and has to kill all the others. Now this is kind of a thing where it's like they'll die, but then they'll get fixed and like they'll be in the hospital. So like they're gonna get horrific, like they'll get horrifically torn apart, but then they'll wake up in the hospital and they'll be perfectly fine because of the advanced space medicine and stuff like that. So this is like a alien style show, but one of them is the creature and and is like walking around normally with all of them, and they have to find out which one. It's kind of like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, where it's like one of them is the thing.
Whatever.
What is the thing? Yeah.
What was the crazy monkey's name?
Lox.
Just because how I would want to end it would be like it was Lox who was the crazy killer the whole time, and he kills Harry last, and like Lox stabs him through the chest, and Harry looks at him, and he's like, at two Lox.
At 2 Lox.
And then Lox rips him in half.
That'd be funny too if like it's the final scene and like it's just Lox and Harry's like, oh my god, like, it's just you and me, like the monster's somewhere out there, like we need to
stay together.
We need to jettison them off now, like we need to we know that who it is. I know it's not you, and you know it's not me, so it has to be whoever's like, hiding in the ship somewhere. And Lox is like, all right, pal, like, I have to tell you something.
Listen, buddy, I'm really sorry. This isn't gonna affect Saturday Night Poker, right? And Harry's like, what won't?
If it makes you feel any better, I'll make this be like as little, not as little as, or as unpainless as possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this.
And he's like, wait, what are you talking about, Lox? And then he a giant spear arm comes out or something like that, like this, alien sludge spear arm. And it's like, all right, I'll, if I just go straight through the chest, it won't be too bad. He's like, no.
And he stabs him in the leg. And Harry's like, you said you go through my chest. And Lox looks up and is like, that's not your chest? Oh shit! I totally misunderstood your whole I'm really sorry, man. And then he like stabs him through the arm, and it's like, that wasn't my chest either. And he's like, oh well. I might as well finish what I started, and then he rips him in half. It's like, at least you died in a phenomenal way. It was great for the cameras, buddy.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of pissed off in the hospital bed. He's just got a giant stitch down the middle of him as they've like sewn him back together. And he's like, this isn't gonna affect Saturday Night Poker, is it? And Harry just looks at him and is like,
yeah.
No. I'm still lonely. I don't have any other friends. I do have an idea for a game show that they could do.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah.
Revolutionathon? Yeah. And it's whoever can go down to this planet and get the people to successfully overthrow the government the quickest wins. Sort of like Master Chef, but it's revolutions. And Harry would win this because they all, like, everyone's, like, does it through, like, violent, like, insurrectional, like, style coups and shit. And Harry is using his accountant skills to, like, financially bankrupt the sitting government so that they all have to leave or go to jail for financial crimes. And then it's like, oh, that was easy. And so he wins by, like, 3.5 months because he just does it in, like, an afternoon using a computer. I'm working for our boy Harry.
Winning some stupid way.
I'm trying to make him.
You are. You want him to win every game show.
I want him to win some.
I want him to lose every game show. So, well, we'll have some differences there. That'll be funny. It'd be funny. All the ones that he wins, he has to win in like the weirdest way possible. Like just like a complete. And the ones where he loses, it's because it's just built on skills that he just can't do.
Oh yeah.
The next idea I had was Adventure Galaxy, which is going to be kind of like The Amazing Race, except the way this works is it would pair up all the contestants. So I was thinking that I don't know if he would either be paired up with Celeste because they've kind of got like a. I would imagine. I feel like they're gonna end up having like a will they won't they.
I was assuming
or Locks because they've got like the buddy cop thing.
Yeah, I was assuming a sort of will they won't they sitch.
But he'll get paired up with one of them, and they get so everybody will get paired up, and they get dropped on a random planet, and they have to on this one point of the planet, and they're given like a location that they have to find so they can get off the planet and proceed to the next part of this journey. And they have no idea where they are. They can't read anything on the planet. So they're like, it's like mostly civilized society. It's like getting dropped on Earth or something. But the Earth is aware that there's intergalactic societies and like people are playing this game show. So no one's helping them, but they have to like find a way. And it's not like the whole planet is like, out to kill them or anything like that. But there are parts where it's like dangerous jungle and stuff like that. And they have to like find a way from one point on the planet to the other while not speaking the language, not really knowing where they are, how to get where they're going, all this kind of stuff. So it's just like this, fish out of water situation where they have to traverse this planet. They don't know how any of the vehicles work. It's just like the weirdest backwards in the way that you would like intuitively think how things work. It's like it seems backwards, like how anything works or how you get around or do anything.
He is like, maybe he's with Celeste and he's like, and they're like, how do we get these cars to work? And then Harry like gets in the car. He's like, wait, I have an idea. I remember this from a cartoon. And he picks up the car and just starts running like a Flintstones vehicle. And she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Nah, see, it works perfectly. Just run, idiot.
Yeah, as he's running like the Flintstones, and then all of a sudden like the engine kicks on, and it just lights up and speeds away. And it becomes obvious once you see the people on this, or like the civilization that's living on this planet. They all have like these massive, like super muscular legs, and they all kind of look like the Road Runners from Roadrunner? From with a Coyote and Runner.
Yeah.
Coyote and Runner. Anyway, yeah, it's like a whole civilization that kind of looks like that, and it's like they all run like the Flintstones to get their cars started. Yep. The kinetic energy builds up or something like that. Yeah,
some fake science bullshit. Neither of us are scientists. We could ask a scientist and say, "Shut up, nerd." That's how if I asked a scientist, if Neil deGrasse Tyson started talking to us about the scientific plausibility of one of our shows, I'd tell him to shut up, nerd. And then
the whole point is that it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil.
Anyway, that's my show, Charles. That was Funny Ain't Easy. I really enjoyed the leading you on the twist.
It really did. You did
my
get me.
Part.
The first because you were like first episode, and I was like, I thought this was the whole series arc. Like I was listening to you describe it, and I was like, this is a lot for a first episode. Where the hell is this show gonna go? And I thought for a hot second, I was like, is Jake gonna make a TV show about stand-up comedians and each episode ends with the stand-up comedian killing themselves? Because that is a horrifying idea.
That's messed up, yeah.
Yeah, but I really liked Funny Ain't Easy. That was a quick turn, but I liked it. Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, editor, and podcasting associate, Jake McLaughlin. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat. And remember, we will be here next week with a brand new televisual series, which will be titled, what's the title going to be, Jacob? It's going to be titled...
I actually don't remember.
Oh, really?
What did I already told you the title.
Yeah, Control Punk. That's the title.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Control Punk.
It's going to be great. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I'm excited because I like punks and I hate control. So, fuck yeah.
Control Punk. I'm excited for this one. I don't know where you're going to go with it, but I like that title a lot. It's like a fun
Yeah, it is.
You can go a lot of ways with it. It could be sci-fi. It could be a
dystopian
gangster kind of drama situation. It could be... I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm excited.
I don't know either.
Do you have an idea already?
I have the vaguest... I have the title sequence. That's what I have in my mind. And so that title sequence, I think, will reflect the TV show in a lot of ways. So I'm just like, yeah. CRT monitors.
Okay.
That ugly green text that computers used to have. You know? That's what I'm after.
I'm excited. Very excited. And you'll be excited, too, because next week you'll be able to see it and it'll be
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's gonna be
and
so
Charlie
good.
will thrill us all. But you'll
Thrilling.
have to wait a whole week because
A whole week
that's how
without
the
our
show works.
dulcet tones. But thank you all, and we'll see you next time.